guys, what's going on? Fly My Pawn here, and welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Since we last left off, we began our journey through Threshold, and we are beginning to get to the end of the game. We have managed to not only go through half the dungeon, but we have also managed to unlock the secrets of the book that we've been carrying, thus unlocking the secret ending for ourselves. For this stream, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be continuing off where we left off, and part 2 of this will basically be just finishing the game. And by then, we will probably have to shift out, and probably we're going to swap over to something new. But I digress. Without further ado, let's get into things and see what happens. But yeah, it's going to be the final stream of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous for a little while. I do believe I've already elaborated this in stream 55, but just to give a quick recap so you guys are aware, I am going to be moving to another game. I already have a game lined up, and I'm going to leave it a surprise in this particular instance because I think it'd be more interesting that way. But, certainly it's going to be a challenge, I'm gonna say, because it will just be one character against the world in a game where you're supposed to have multiple people helping you. But regardless, we should do well in this instance, but I digress. We'll grab those, and I think we're good. Yeah, there's no other treasure here, to my knowledge, unless I'm mistaken. And it's not like we can walk on lava, so... yee. I guess off we go. We'll post up and get ready for going outside. We'll gather everything that we haven't grabbed yet. This is +5 full plate, a +5 bastard sword. We'll collect all those items, and now we're moving outside to where fights are supposed to happen. So, if you are not aware of what's going down here, it's due to the fact that we were told that we were supposed to protect the encampment here. As a result, well, everybody here is supposed to be fighting now. So it's time for violence, put simply. Aggressive violence. Now, keep in mind, you do not have to win here. It is a choice to win there, if you really want. Okay. It seems like most everyone, if not everybody, did die in that excursion from what I predict, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, no, everybody died in that excursion apparently, so... yeah, that's not fun. Oh well, we still got our buffs, so that's the important part here. So we're just gonna get everybody ready, and they're going to engage in full. There we go. Alright. Oh, things are getting spicy here. Oh boy. Yeah, it's getting a bit messy here, because the entirety of Threshold Fortress is destabilizing as we speak. So we gotta be quick at this point, otherwise things are just gonna go out of hand immediately. Well, I guess we'll see how things play out.
The mortal who ventured recklessly into the abyss has now reached Threshold. In Is, you struck down my creator and master Deskari, but if that makes you dismissive of his echo, if you think I do not pose a threat, then you are greatly mistaken.
The Echo of Deskari tilts his head to the side thoughtfully. Despite his calm demeanor, his voice quivers with anticipation. You didn't want to fight me in the Abyss, so why are you here now?
I was hunting the hand of the inheritor in the Abyss, not you. And what a good hunt it was. But now things are different. Now you are the prey I covet more than anything else.
Where is Deskari? Is he too afraid to fight me personally?
Master is in the Abyss, in his realm. No, he does not wish to meet with you yet. A demon lord cannot afford 2 deaths in succession. It will kill them permanently.
Well, I'll simply say this. Out of my way.
No, I'm not afraid of your threats, and there's nothing you could offer me that would make me withdraw. He lost to you. He lost. The great Deskari himself lost to a mortal. So what happens if I succeed where the great lord failed? If an echo destroys the one its originator could not defeat, who would that make me? What would it prove? I'll risk my life to know. You are not just my enemy, you are my chance. A chance I won't miss.
The quiver in the Echo's voice is more noticeable now. He is afraid. He is terrified by what he is saying. Yet his eagerness compels him to continue. So yeah, we're facing the Echo of Deskari now. Going by his stats, he's not that bad, mind you. Honestly, he could easily be defeated here. The only problem is the brilliant energy scythe that he's carrying around. That's gonna really tear into us, I predict. So, yeah, we gotta be ready with that in mind. But thankfully, we've got ways to knock him prone, so it's not that big a deal. Yeah, like, that was really easy, in fact. We're gonna pick up the brilliant energy scythe, and if it isn't already obvious, we are going to be giving that to the skeletal executioner here. We're gonna take off the glaive because we no longer need that. We'll take off the wide sweep. We are going to give the scythe over to the skeletal executioner. Or do we go with the bone snatcher here? No, we're not going to go for the bone snatcher. We need the brilliant energy scythe here. Yeah. It doesn't deal that much damage, but the fact that it's dealing 54 to 60 damage, in addition to it being brilliant energy, means that it's just going to be way better than what we got currently. So that is why I'm even tolerating the idea of having this in the first place. If I could, I would have the better version, which comes from Deskari's corpse itself, but I don't think I actually have that, which kind of sucks, kind of doesn't. I'm fine with it. It's all good. We'll keep going all the same. We'll close that up, and we will get ready with our fights here. Because the next one is going to be a doozy, to say the least. It's going to be quite the brawl, putting it lightly. Alright. We're reaching the magnum opus of the story here. Once we go through here, there's no turning back. Alright, we're gonna save here, because this is the last chance we're ever gonna get. And I think all of our buffs are gonna be fine, for the most part. Yeah, we've got 1 hour 50, and everybody's ready as could be. Alright. This is the last chance we're gonna get to prepare, so I'm going to see if there is anything I need to do here. Okay. To start off with, we do not need the Amulet of Natural Armor, I suspect. Yeah, the Amulet of Natural Armor, it only gives an additional 1/8 to AC. Okay, let's go to Bismuth here. Let's re-equip him. Here we go. We don't need that Amulet of Mighty Fists. We don't need this, because this only adds charisma to ranged weapons. So unless it adds to something else, I don't think that's going to be good. Clear Vision is basically a better version of the Shapeshifter Helm. Okay, the Helmet of Camaraderie is fine. We've already got the robe, or glasses and robe of undeniable truth. Or unspeakable truth, rather. And this just gives a bonus, general. This gives us immunity to fire. Any morale bonuses we have is doubled, which is really good for us. So basically, we double the benefits of Heroic Invocation here. Wait, that's odd. Ah well, it's fine. Okay, I already got all around defense, got this. Clear Purpose allows us to cast healing spells without provoking, but we don't really need that, I don't think. So we're going to go by type at this point. There we go. Yeah, we don't need Clear Purpose, to be honest. Let's see. We get a +4 against touch attacks, which actually might be a pretty good thing here. We just suffer a -4 when we use them ourselves. I think I can get away with the repelling bracers here as opposed to the Clear Purpose. Alright, the Amulet of Natural Armor is nice, but it's only a +1 to AC, as opposed to something else I could get, maybe. Let's see. We don't need Amulets of Mighty Fists or Amulets of Natural Armor. This will give us a +3 to Initiative and Reflex, so this is way better than the Amulet of Natural Armor, I think. It'll make us a little bit more fast. It'll make us faster, basically, which I think is overall better. We don't need to replace the Helmet of Camaraderie. The Gloves of Dueling are a good thing that we're already wearing, but we can change it up if we want, I feel. We are going to need to bulk up the Bismuth, so we want him with the Cloak of +6. I believe Wind's Breath was the key focus here for initiative boosting. We also wanted to give him Bracers. We don't need Clear Purpose. We could go with Bracers of Animal Fury, even though it's not going to do much. Alright, and gloves, if anything sticks out, we'll grab it. Let's see. Okay, Death Dealer deals an additional d6 of damage from sneak attacks. Neophyte is good, but I think we're going to go with the Holy Knee Pads here. Okay, Belt of the Venerated Champion. Do we want to keep to that, or do we want to swap it out? Armor-wise, we've got a Gleaming Banded Armor. Immunity to Sleep, Electricity, and Paralysis, so we keep that. I don't think I need to... I think the Venerated Champion is just overall the best. Worst case, we do have Bull Strength and Cat's Grace on us, so we can just keep with what we got. I think I'm satisfied with what we got here currently. Do I want to change out my gloves? That's a good question. I do not think I want to. No, not in this instance. We could increase the sneak attack damage because we need to worry about CMD against disarm, and we don't have weapon training. So the sneak attack could help here. Let's see, what class do we have? We have Fighter Tower Shield Specialist, so no, it wouldn't actually help Merman here. So that'd be a pointless thing to grab. I could grant a Profane Vigor effect and a +2 bonus to natural armor to all evil creatures summoned. If I summon a Sana Demon, they grant it a greater Profane Vigor effect and a +4 natural bonus. You know what? Maybe Jaws of the Jackal is a good choice, because we are going to be summoning creatures here with Merman, so might as well. Beastman, we can't change his gear. We can't do the same for Triclops because they are currently polymorphed, and I don't want to change that out. Trapjaw, is there anything we want to swap with you? Goggles of the Piercing Gaze are just good in general. This Toxic Wrap will make him immune to acid. So that's just in general great. Ring of Imminent Demise. Okay, they must pass a Fortitude save or be knocked down. The ring also grants a +2 to attack and damage with two-handed weapons. I think I can get a better ring here. What about brace? Yeah, we don't need bracers, I don't think. Let's see. Alright, the Treacherous Flame is overall just the best choice here. So long as I land a sneak attack, it's going to make them vulnerable to fire, and they suffer an additional 2d6 fire damage. It also suffers a -3 penalty to saves, which is really great, so we're going to keep that. Let's see. Storyteller's Ring, no. Don't need that ring. Ring of Evasion is tempting, but not required. Ring of Deadly Swings is good with throwing axes, darts, and javelins, but we don't need that. Bane of Flesh. If we go down, it'd be a pretty good item, but I don't think we need to. What else do we got? We've got Heavy Fortification, we've got the Belt of Bloodlust, which gives us a +5 morale bonus on their next attack roll whenever we land a killing blow, which is not going to be good here, I don't think, actually. So we may want to swap that out for something better. Unfortunately, we haven't got anything even better than that, so we'll leave that alone for now. I think I'm satisfied with most everything of what we got here. Evelyn is got some stuff that we can replace, I think, but other than that, nothing really too crazy. Okay, the Braces of Armor stick, I guess. Let's see. Any cloaks that we want to get on instead? Let's see. I don't think we need to replace anything here. Variance Cloak, no. Living Flame, no. No to the Lone Wolf. Misty Cover, no. I think we're good there. I'm good with the aspect of the Asp here, because it gives all ray spells an additional d6 plus 5 damage. What else? We've got the Amulet of the Mask of the Most Worthy, so we don't need to replace that. Gloves of the Enduring Wizard are actually a pretty bad thing for us right now. Let's see. I think I want to go with the gloves here. Yeah, let's go with the Gloves of Arcane Eradication here, I think. That does mean that we don't need the Steady Finger, which we'll take off, I guess. We got the Ring of Summoning. We are going to get something else in place of that. I don't need the Ring of Luck here. The +4 to initiative is, in general, just a good idea, but we might replace it for the Ring of Summoning here. Or Planar Navigation, even. Maybe not Planar Navigation. Bane of Flesh, though. It is a saving grace item, so I guess we'll wear that. As for the belts, we're going to go with the Belt of Physical Form here, +6. That's going to help slightly. The Attire of Arcane Annihilation. I think I'm going to replace the attire here for something better. Let's see. I guess the Robe of Seven Sins is better here, because it will increase the cast level by 3. The save DC is increased by 1. And +5 to cast level checks to overcome spell resistance is pretty powerful. I think that's overall the best choice we can go with. Yeah, we're gonna go with the Robe of Seven Sins here. That's a slightly better increase here. Gloves of Arcane Eradication are set. Boots of Elven Kind are fine. Alright, Skeletor. I think we're good on Skeletor's gear. I don't really need to change anything to my knowledge, because everything is literally just helping him in the benefits. Because, yeah, we need to prepare as much as we possibly can against this fight, because this is going to be a very deadly one, I predict. Okay. That just leaves the skeleton and Bismuth. I do believe Bismuth is already set up, so we don't need to worry about him. We do need to worry about the skeleton, though, so... Let's see, what can we deck you out with? On the Brink of Death is a good one, but I think I might change that up for something else. Okay. Apprentice Robe increases AC by 1. That's not going to be good enough, though. Needed Nauseated, which we don't really need. The rest is armor, so we don't really need that. But the skeleton does get immunity to acid and fire by wearing Welcome Respite, so we want to keep that. I guess we're going to have to keep Welcome Respite, because there is no real reason to remove it at the moment. Okay, gear-wise, let's see. For every corpse and undead within the area, we can use the Steward of the Sky's helmet here to help increase attack and damage. As long as we summon undead corpses, we should be able to... Well, as long as we have undead on the field, we can actually boost him to a +6, which will make his Brilliant Energy Scythe a +43 to hit, which is insane. So I think we want to keep the Steward of the Sky, even if we don't, you know, get the win there. What else can we do here? Cloak of Resistance +5, that gives an AoE that deals 2d8 fire damage. It's pretty good. What else can we use potentially, though? I think in general, just having the +5 resistance bonus is really good. So I'm just going to keep it as that. We don't need amulets, we're keeping the helmets. How about gloves? We got the gloves of Fencer's Gifts. It basically works like the gloves of dueling, except it gives a +3 bonus to damage. Let's see. We'll keep those for now. The Belt of Physical Flow is the best course for him. Rings. I mean, the Ring of Evasion is a good choice in general, so it's no reason to get rid of that. I think we're good. This is as much prep as I can do here. The only other thing I can think of doing is quite literally giving everybody I haven't given some extra AC buffs. And even then, that's not going to be a lot. I should probably get rid of blindness, though. Alright, here we go. Remove blindness. We'll use one of those scrolls. Let's see. I think we're good at this point. Are we blind here? Doesn't look like it, but that's fine. Let's go price in descending order. And I guess utility items are the next thing on the list, so let's see. What can we activate here? Okay, well, summoning skills from Evelyn are coming in handy, probably. Okay. Well, at least I got a Wand of Animate Dead in bulk, so... I guess we're going to make use of that. We're definitely going to need the Rod of Magical Affinity, because this is going to be the final... Well, this might not even be the final fight, so I should probably store that away. Let's see. Get the Greater Maximize Rod here. Let's do the same here. Let's see, we've got the Grandmaster Rod. We'll go with the Maximize Rod, we'll go with the Quicken Rod. And I guess a Wand of Animate Dead. And Trapjaw, you're a certain breed of interest. We can't use spells for you, in particular. So I guess we'll leave that alone. Yeah, we don't need anything else, I think. Alright, we're good. Alright, let's save it. Alright, apologies for all the delay. I had to make absolutely certain we are ready. And we're still probably going to have to pre-buff in this fight, so let's just get ready for it. It is time to begin.
This is where it happened. It was here that I conducted the ritual, sewing my soul and the essence of the abyss together. Feeling the world change around me as every stitch brought Galarian closer to the abyss. And it was here that even though you have no memory of it, I did the same to your soul. A researcher must not have any personal feelings for the subjects of their experiments. And yet, I find myself unable to remain completely detached from the Worldwound. I created it. I allowed it to be. It holds a place in my heart, even if I'm slowly paying for it with my life. A researcher must be particularly resilient in the face of mistakes, incorrect hypotheses, and failed experiments. You are my failed experiment. I think I'll feel some regret for ending your current life. But you can rest assured that such sentiments will not stop me.
Areelu turns towards you. Scarlet blood seeps from the wound in her chest. I can tell you've been preparing this place for battle, but there's more to it, am I right? I sense barrier spells waiting to be activated. And there's something else. Something deadly.
You're so adept at magic. Of course, I've been preparing for our meeting. And hopefully I've prepared well.
There's a hint of pride in Areelu's voice, but she immediately catches herself. You've done all of this just to save your child?
Yes. No. Even if I could have brought back my son, I wouldn't have stopped at that. I wouldn't have been satisfied. Not after what I'd gone through. Not after the things I'd learned. I wanted to become stronger. And I wished the same for my child. I didn't want to be afraid of anything. It wasn't the dogs of Threshold, or even Sarkoris itself, that threatened us. It was the laws of a world governed by death, weakness, and separation. That is why I needed the power of the Nehindrian crystals. I did not wish to merely stave off the agony of the wound. I wanted to tear my son from the grasp of everything that makes us weak and mortal. You have seen a goddess. You have been face to face with demon lords. Were you awed by their greatness? Do you enjoy living in a world where your entire life cycle has been predetermined? Where everything, from your birth to what will happen to your soul after you die, has been decided for you? Or do you find, now that you have experienced the mythic power coursing through your blood, that you prefer to live in a world that you can change? A world that offers you a chance to be anything you want.
Oh yes, this power is magnificent. I would choose no other fate.
How strange. You are a kindred spirit. We are so alike. Perhaps the experiment wasn't such a failure in the end. But no. No.
Why did you call me your failed experiment?
When I poured what was left of my son's soul into your soul, I was expecting it to bring him back. They say death and the judgment of Pharasma purges the soul of everything it once was in life. But this cannot be true. I have researched this subject meticulously and have collected enough evidence to prove that supernatural beings born from mortal souls can recall their past. Sometimes partially, sometimes fully.
The witch shivers as if caught by a sudden chill. She looks away for a moment.
I watched you day and night, waiting for it to happen. For your memory to awaken, or your instincts at least. For anything familiar, something I could immediately recognize. I tested you. I asked you questions and... nothing. Nothing.
You merge the remnants of your own son's soul with mine. So why do you want to harm me?
If a hypothesis is proven wrong, it needs to be rejected. But the research process does not stop there. That is all I can tell you right now.
You've been carrying the wound in your soul for a long time. Does that mean you will die soon?
It will kill me eventually. But I still have some time left. Years, or decades perhaps. But it doesn't matter. One of us will die today.
And what will happen if one of us steps into the wound?
The tearing of the soul, followed by a cruel and terrible death. But it will likely be quick.
Areelu responds nonchalantly. I have no more questions.
And it's finally time to end all this.
The time for battle has come.
Yes, it was bound to happen, and happen it will. I am ready. Death is not the end. I have spent 100 years trying to prove it, and I will not stop now. This experiment was unsuccessful, but that just means I need to adjust the initial conditions and try again. I am still alive. I still have time. You, the current you, will have to die. But only to surrender the soul you share with my son. I will start over. This time I will do everything differently. I will work with even greater precision. I will turn the world upside down if I must. I promise.
And now, we face Areelu Vorlesh. Going by her abilities, she is really insane. But thankfully, we have the power of debuffing on our side, so we can quite literally dismantle her abilities. Although, as you can see, we're going to be fighting an uphill battle, because her attacks are going to most assuredly hit us in some capacity. Never mind the fact that she is treated as a evil outsider. Her stats we can overcome, but it's just going to be a difficult fight overall. Never mind the fact that she's immune to magic missiles, force strikes, dominate person, dominates. She's got a lot going against us. The only thing that she's vulnerable to, apparently, is fire. But thankfully, we can bypass most of this spell or energy immunity. So we can go against electricity, cold, negative, and fire with some of our characters. So it's not like it's a complete loss. What we are going to have to do, though, is we are going to have to weaken her significantly. So we're going to definitely use Prediction of Failure here. Even if it does fail to trigger, we are going to need it, to say the least. We are going to use this chance to... We are definitely going to use this chance to use Corrupt Magic, because this will decrease her AC to a significant margin. We're going to need to activate Rampage here. Alright, we are going to activate... I think we need to start summoning creatures, so we're going to summon some Thanadaemons. I guess we can summon some Creeping Doom. Let's activate our shield spell here. We'll activate the potion here. And let's just hope this is enough. Merman will do the rest here. Okay, she is gonna go over behind us, it seems. Okay.
I'll just have to resort to brute force.
Alright. She is really going ham here. We're going to reduce her AC here. Alright, Skeletor, we want you. Yeah, we want you to continue casting your Dispel magic here. Okay, come on. Okay, I think we reduced her stats a little significant sum. She is now down to 52 AC, meaning her flat-footed and touch are significantly lower, which will make our lives easier. We are then going to produce the AoE here, I think, to reduce her stats even further. Let's see. Currently, can she be knocked prone? Because that'll matter a lot. She cannot be knocked prone. Okay, so this would not work. We are going to use... I think we're going to need to back up, and we'll start summoning creatures here. Preferably undead, obviously. Okay, we'll summon the Revenger Dragon. Evelyn will be responsible for... Okay, it's a swift action to use this. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. Okay, we'll do that as a swift action. Triclops is good. There we are. Oh god, this is getting really dicey. Okay, there goes Bismuth. Executioner's looking a bit diced. Her HP is 1/3 down. We're gonna go with Elemental Assessor here, I think. Okay, we are gonna do Prediction of Failure. There we are. Oh, the tsunami's coming in, okay. We are going to use the AoE spell here of negative energy here. This is going to give us a significant heal. Come on. There we go. That brings us up. That brings her to full. Okay, that's not good. Wait, did she heal from that? I hope not. Let's see. Yeah, no, she shouldn't have healed from that. Let's go with Domain of the Hungry Flesh, I think. That would invoke trips, but that's not what we need. No, we need the ability damage more than anything, so that's why we're doing this. Okay. There we go. We're going to rinse and repeat this, I think, here. Just deal as much negative energy damage as possible here. Okay. Our buffs are still going well. Alright, Triclops is not looking happy. But if we get him through to here, we can get the heal off. Nice. Okay, if we reduce her AC down a bit further here, she will be brought down to 54, I think. Let's do some polar rays here. That's still cold damage after all, and we can bypass it off. There we go. Nice.
Responsible for the creation of my most powerful enemy.
Areelu looks as though she's about to collapse, but she does her best to remain upright. I can see you, Suture. Show yourself.
I've been waiting for you to get distracted, so I can stab you in the back.
The Suture appears from hiding and looks at you balefully. I've uncovered your plan. The spells in this chamber, they're designed to kill you if something goes wrong. You've been preparing for this outcome from the start. Am I right?
How very perceptive. But you didn't think I would make it easy, did you? I won't let you win. You need me alive. You want to use me to close the wound, but I can destroy myself before you have a chance.
I'll stop you by force if necessary, so don't embarrass yourself with these pathetic attempts to prevent the inevitable.
Fine. Let's say I don't destroy myself. What happens now?
You lock eyes with Areelu. It is her will against yours, and you strive against her in this unspoken contest for what feels like an eternity. But finally, the crimson fire in her eyes dims, and her resolve falters.
Stronger than I could have anticipated. As your creator, I should be proud to be defeated by the one I have imbued with power. Is there any higher praise? But I'm tired. You won't hear me pleading. Let us finish this experiment here and now.
Areelu's eyes are full of anger and disbelief. The wounds above her heart is bleeding, and her shoulders are trembling. But she raises her chin defiantly. Now this is the ending where you get a few choices on what is going to end up happening. As for what we're going to go with, I'm not sure. What should we do? to do, what to do. Do we even want to close the Worldwound? I guess we do. Well, there's a few paths we can go with. I'm going to be showing the normal path, and once we fight Areelu again, which I'm planning on doing, I will show a different ending regarding the secret ending. So this is what I'm basically going to be doing. So I'll go with the intended path that we're going to go for, which is the key ending that we wanted to go for. It's, well, do we want to close it? I don't know. Give me a second. Let me do a quick Google search here, because this does matter, actually. Okay. Okay, we got that. Yeah, let's go with the list of endings here. Okay, so I'm just looking at the endings. There is a few decisions here. There's an interesting path we can actually take here, if we really, really wanted to. But I'm gonna go with the most obvious choice here. But there is 4 possible endings with this character here. So, what do I want? What do I want? Let's go with the obvious ending, because this is what I wanted in the end. I wanted to go with the obvious choice, so it's over. Now you will die, giving your life to help heal the Worldwound that you create. Well, you know what? Let's go for the secret ending first. Why not? I'm not going to sacrifice you, Areelu.
Then what are you going to do? Sacrifice your own life to seal the wound? Just turn around and leave?
A hint of curiosity flashes in Areelu's eyes. I rule life and death, and I know how to trick fate. My phylactery holds a part of my soul. I will relinquish it to seal the wound and continue my existence. For such is the power of undeath. Your phylactery disappears in the fires of the wound, causing a wave of horrible, mind-wrenching pain. But it only lasts a moment. And what's a moment compared to the eternity that awaits you? And if you think of it in a way, nobody can touch my Phylactery anymore because it ceases to exist. Life and death, destiny and great deeds, answers to mysteries, the search of one's true path. The mind can comprehend all of these, and then such concepts can be written down as a sequence of formulas, a series of lines, a chain of thought. Still, in a moment always comes when it's time to wrap up, to reach a conclusion, but a period at the end of the last sentence. The impossible rift, the bleeding wound that has tormented all of Golarion for 100 years, was finally healed. By sacrificing his soul, which he had placed in his Phylactery, the commander severed the last ties that bound him to his mortal past. The goddess Urgathoa looked upon all this favorably, and filled the void left by the forfeit soul with her dark wisdom. And in that darkness, the commander saw what the Pallid Princess had planned for him. To become the leader that would march the undead legion to storm Pharasma's realm. The time of the inevitable rebellion was rapidly approaching. The Fifth Crusade may not have lasted long, but in that short time, Dresden had become the commander's city, his bulwark, his citadel. Unsurprisingly, he remained the ruler of the supreme city and the surrounding lands after the spectacular victory at Threshold. The former lands of the Worldwound became the realm of death. The dark towers of Dresden enticed many who yearned for the taste of forbidden knowledge. Undead legions safeguarded the necromancers who spat on Pharasma's taboo. As they delved into mysteries of death, each of them sought to follow in the commander's footsteps, to throw off the chains of mortality and find eternal undeath. The memory of Tar-Baphon and his deeds faded, and the shadow of anew, far more terrifying evil, fell upon Avastan. When the commander butchered the defiant Crusaders in Dresden, it did not go unnoticed. The Knights of Ozem called upon every Golarion nation to join them in the Shining Crusade against a new threat. But few rulers answered the summons. Memories of that horrific massacre were still too fresh in their minds. But it was not the armies of the powerful nations or brave paladins who marched on Dresden first. Pharasma herself declared war on the commander. Her priests spread the word that a new Lord of Death had come to power, and vanquished the Lady of Graves. Thousands were slain in fierce battles, and thousands joined the ranks of the undead host. The short-tempered Lich Sicorius did not depart Dresden as he intended. His respect for the commander compelled him to change his plans, and the Crusade's leader, former mentor, took on the task of instructing the novices who were flocking to the fortress. His training produced great many talented mages, almost as many as he killed for insufficient diligence in their studies. As the leader of the Crusaders, the commander won the loyalty and obedience. Even in the Crusade's darkest hours, the commander found ways to restore the army's supply lines. His military acumen was beyond question. Under his leadership, the divided, poorly trained Crusader forces were reforged into an incredible army. Due to the success of the commander's diplomatic strategy, by the end of the war, Mendev's true political center was Dresden, not Neurosia. After gaining the support of foreign rulers and finding allies in the capital, Dresden became the shining example of the new Mendev. One that was nurtured by the commander's ideas. The kingdom of noble crusaders rotted to the core, and the commander's dark ideas took root in the minds of all. The significant accomplishments of the crusade were so great that even a century after the end of the war, Dresden retained its prominence on the map of Avastan. The commander's diplomatic, military, and administrative talent turned the fortress into a key political player. After the Battle of Threshold, Queen Galfrey vanished. Some claimed that they had seen her in the wastes around Is, while others told stories about her being held against her will in the dungeons of Dresden. The ward stones from the chain that once guarded the borders of Mendev were carefully disassembled, one by one. The angels that had been trapped inside returned to heaven to heal their wounded spirits and prepare for new battles against evil. The victory over the Worldwound changed many things, not just on Golarion, but in the Midnight Isles as well. Nauticula spent many days pondering the words of a certain young and fearless prophet. Before long, the Lady in Shadow openly renounced her realm and named herself the Redeemer Queen. This revolt against her own demonic nature transformed Nauticula, severed her ties to the Abyss, and brought her to Elysium. There, upon creating a realm named the Midnight Palais, the Redeemer Queen attained divine power and became the patroness of exiles. The now vacant throne was instantly seized by Chimera, the Ardent Dream. However, her power could not compare to the might of the Lady in Shadow. The Midnight Isles, which had become a tempting prize for many demons, were plunged into chaos. The commander celebrated his victory over Ashragal. Little did he know that some demon lords go as far as forfeiting their own life to achieve their ends. The mask of the inscrutable Ashragal remained in the possession of the commander of the Fifth Crusade until the very end. He refused to, or could not find the strength to discard that sinister item. And shortly after the Battle of Threshold, began disappearing for days at a time, then suddenly returning, unable to recall what happened to him. The Demon Lord Baphomet suffered a defeat. The Worldwound was closed, and the convenient passage to Golarion was sealed along with it. Baphomet shifted his attention to realms of the other Demon Lord. A cell of the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth was soon discovered in New Shannara. The Demon Lord Deskari suffered a defeat. He bided his time, continuing to plot his invasion of Golarion, and after that, of Heaven itself. The cultists that remained on Golarion went mad, one after another, tortured by nightmarish dreams their lord sent them. The spirit of the Demon Lord Neandri was freed from the shackles of Nauticula's magic, and went to the Rift to repose, where at last it found blissful oblivion. Midnight Isle had been built upon Neandri's remains sank into the waters of Ishia. The commander's escapades in Lushanira left a lasting impression of his denizens. Under Zeklex's management, the battle bliss gradually fell into decline. Audiences had grown bored of ordinary gladiator fights, and Meandrian League closed due to a lack of members. Realizing that his talents as an arena steward would never be appreciated in the Abyss, Zeklex sold the battle bliss and used the proceeds to relocate to Hell, where he finally found himself at home. The unrelenting killer and vigilante known as the Red Mask continued her purge over Lushanira, and assembled a full squad of Azamar assassins. Demons enjoyed listening to stories of their bloody exploits. That is, until the assassins came to collect theirs. After the destruction and disappearance of the Guardians of Pelura, the temple beside the dry waterfall and the surrounding waste were left to their fate. The dark magic did its work, and thousands of the dead rose from the slumber to wreak vengeance upon the living. This place is now known as Pelura's Ossuary. Gesmira was true to her word. The Wintersun clan remained in the land of their ancestors. Their scarred spirits and wounded bodies weighed heavily upon them. Not a night passed without someone waking up with a scream on their lips, and yet under their chieftain's guidance, the people endured. Soon the skies over Wintersun were pierced by the long-awaited cry of the first child born in a new Socorus. The daughter of Jurnah, the priestess of Melissa, The fisherwoman demonstrated magical capabilities at a young age, as well as a keen mind and a cold, cruel disposition. She had only gentle words for flora and fauna, but whenever a human hurt her, she would make use of her long, sharp nails. Remembering the prophecy of the three hags, Melissa realized that in the end, her daughter would have to decide whether to stay human or become a hag. The abyssal boy named Zorges has intended to leave the material plane, but a conversation with the commander after the victories over the Worldwound caused him to change his mind. The details of this conversation are unknown, but a week later, Zorges knocked on the doors of the Pathfinder Society Grand Lodge and was accepted into society as a ward. It was the beginning of a long, adventurous saga. The sinister Numerian device the commander had captured in the Blackwater clan encampment continued its grim work, subjugating new mortals at its master's behest. Soon it had legions of warriors under its command. The tale of its horrors reached Absalom, marking the founding of a new union of crusaders, the Texans, who made it their mission to destroy this strange, menacing machine. For many years, Venture Captain Halor continued to wander Galarian in a hopeless attempt to hunt down his nemesis, the Spinner of Nightmares. His hunt ended on an old road in the River Kingdoms, where Halor saw a group of monsters attacking innocent family. He managed to save only one of them, a young girl who had been orphaned on that terrible night. Halor took her in and was forced to temporarily halt to search for the Spinner. This pause lasted for a month, then a year. Abandoning his hope of reuniting with Lori, Halor found a new purpose in caring for another person. Over time, he was able to once again find joy and hope in his life. Having rediscovered his own story, the storyteller rejected the goddess's proposal. He was celebrated as a great historian, and rightfully held the position of Dean of the History Faculty in the Archimania, the most renowned academy in Absalom. Another 40 years passed before his age caught up with him, and it was his turn to appear before the Lady in Graves. Once the war had ended, Camilla grew bored and irritable. Shortly afterward, on a moonless night, she vanished. About a month later, an assassin by the name of Miera arrived in Pharasma. She had a few things in common with the missing woman apart from a fondness for cutting the hearts out of her victims. After the death of Horgus, the Grove state fell into disrepair. Horgus's will was never found, and all his fortune passed to Mendev's treasury. The name of the once proud Worm family was quickly forgotten. Wenedug became the queen of Mongols, and in doing so assumed her rightful place among her people. She gave her rugged brethren a place to settle, a patch of the untamed wastes was taken back from the demons. In time, those parts were named the Saltlands, in remembrance of the sweat and blood paid by the young nation at the dawn of its existence. Thanks to their firm and determined ruler, the mongrel race survived their first perilous years of trials and hardship to forge a great future for themselves. After seeing everything, she believed in crumble before her eyes. The girl that once answered to the name Ember descended into total madness. After the war's end, she found herself living as an orphanage, sweeping floors and washing dishes. She retained her magical powers, but she never used them again. Though her tears, she would say, "I don't want to do tricks. When I do tricks, everyone dies." Soon after the war, the tireless researcher of all things researchable embarked on a new journey. She had a sudden urge to know how much time it would take to visit every nation on Galarian. She never returned. No, she did not perish. She simply got carried away with another experiment and forgot to come back. Woljif was not tempted by the laurels of a war hero, for his true heritage awaited him in the abyss. After saying his farewells to the chief, the formal thiefling went to Lucianir to claim what was his by right. His vast experience in shady dealings meant that Woljif was in his element. He became the best fence and fixer in the city. He always knew where to find reliable assassins, when the next shipments of artifacts would arrive from Golarion, and which aristocrats were planning a coup for this month. Reginald de Renge wrote a treaty on waging war against demons, both a practical manual and a philosophical exhortation, and once that was done, he succumbed to the bleaching completely. He was posthumously restrained in his order and buried with honors in the officers' cemetery. His treaty was used in all future wars against the Abyss by mortals, angels, and devils alike. Before he died, he managed to send a letter to the commander. It didn't contain sincere farewells or a list of directives. Impossible to say. No one was privy to the context except the recipient. After the war, Greybor went off on his personal conquest. He traveled to Elutionira and killed 4 candidates of the positions of the head of the Assassin's Guild, whereupon he rightfully took the position himself and became the preeminent figure in the Midnight Isles. Under his leadership, the guild prospered, and the denizens of many planes would shudder whenever they heard the innocent phrase, "Sweet dreams." Arushale made her triumphant return to the Abyss. The fabled succubus found many admirers, minions, and psychopods in Elutionira. Her authority grew. Soon, an unfortunate accident happened to the keeper of the battle bliss, and the arena found itself a new mistress. Having united with Greybor, the new leader of the Assassin's Guild, and Woljif, the best fixer in Elutionira, Arushale joined the ranks of the elite of the Midnight Isles. Together, these 3 former companions of the commander rose to power over the city's aristocracy. Powerless to oppose them, their adversaries went underground to bide their time until someone among the 3 decided to betray the other 2. To everyone's surprise, they are still waiting.
And what of me, the writer of these words? The half-demon witch known as the architect of the Worldwound. I was defeated. The victor spared my life in a gesture that was not quite a boon, not quite charity. I was left without hope, without a chance of finding a purpose again. I lived out my remaining days in an isolated cottage, far from everyone, needed by none, discovered by none. I have recounted the story of my life for you, Pharasma, Lady of Graves. Not only of my life, but of the Commander's also. I believe the tale of such an illustrious figure would pique even a goddess's curiosity. Now you know everything. I await your verdict, Goddess.
Silence hangs over the boneyard. The Lady of Graves is weighing her decision, and it seems the entire universe is holding its breath, awaiting her pronouncement. Who would dare to break the silence so absolute? Well, that would be me, of course. Your awareness touches the boneyard, but it collides with an unsurprisable obstacle, the will of the Lady of Graves.
Urgathoa's servants are not welcome in my halls. Begone, and never dare appear here again. As for you, Areelu Vorlesh...
The goddess's sepulchral voice fades away in silence once again. Reigns in the boneyard.
You wrought great evil, while it stemmed from the evil that was done to you. Your actions far exceeded it. Your soul is dark, and there is only one place for you in the universe. I shall send you to the Abyss, plane of pain and fury, suffering and privation. That which you have done to others will now be done to you. So be it.
And that is the end of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Or that is going to be the canonical ending I'm going to be going with. Now, just so you guys are aware, there is more story that we can go into, and I will show you that there is a new area that we can go through. We are going to be going through to the Inevitable Excess, which is a new thing that they have unlocked, and we will be following this story next. So, I will not be touching this just yet. This will be the next stream. Well, next time I come back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, I will be doing this. It was a little bit short, I must admit, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, but... or at least this little bit that we did. I can't really help that. That's just how it is. I was considering doing the other endings, but I don't think we can actually unlock them, because if you... I think we're a bit too late on everything, to be honest. So the only other ending would have been us killing Areelu Vorlesh at that point, so it's really a juggle on what would have been okay or not, so... I don't know. The point is that we, basically usurped everything. And we are in a eternal battle with, Pharasma at this point. But yeah, I digress. I think I'm going to go with that canonical ending. I hope you guys enjoyed, because this will be the last stream for a while with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. The story of Skeletor is not done yet. Not until we do the Inevitable Access, and there is even more story we've got in the future to keep in mind. So that is something for the future. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess I'm going to wrap it up here. It was a short stream, but that's just how it goes sometimes. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the ending, and I guess I'll give my final thoughts here. The game is wonderful. Overall, I like the game. It's got a great story, it's got a great aspect to it, and there's multiple endings that you can follow through with. So, each and every single one is, like, really, really great. So I can enjoy that, I can be satisfied with that, so, yeah. The only complaint I have is the difficulty, but considering they give you so many difficulties to follow through with, you're sort of stuck in like a situation where you only do it to yourself. Now, what am I thinking for the future beyond, you know, the Inevitable Access? If I do come back to this game, I will be playing as another character. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but I will come back to it at some point after like a few months, give or take, depending on what I've been playing. So, expect me to do a multiple amounts of playthroughs through Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, because I love this game to bits, so I'd be happy to play this multiple times over. What I'll probably change up this time is, I'll be doing one thing. I will be playing a legend difficulty character, but I will also be adding some mods. But to compensate, I will be going solo. So there's only going to be one character in this instance. So that is something that is probably going to be changed aside from that, so just be aware of that as I'm going through, but that's besides the point. I think that is all I can really do now, so I'm going to wrap it up here. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I know it was a short one, but hey, that's just how it goes sometimes. Tomorrow, it's going to be the final stream for Minecraft as well, so be ready for that. I'm hoping I can build the bakery at that point. Even if I don't get everything completed, expect some things there. But yeah, I love this game, and I'm probably going to come back to it. Just probably going to try some mods at this point, so just to make it interesting. But I digress. I am going to wrap it up here. If you want to support me, you can support me on YouTube by liking, subscribing, commenting, or hitting the bell notification. If you want to support me on Kick, you can follow or just watch the streams. Every little bit is appreciated, but I'm not going to enforce it. You guys do. As long as you're enjoying yourselves, that's all I care about. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I know I did. And I will see you guys next stream. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.